This is a paid advertisement on behalf of Athena Gold. What's going on, guys? This is Aaron from Departures Capital, and we're here with Kobe Kushner, CEO and President of Athena Gold. Pleasure to have you on today, Kobe. How are you doing?
Doing great. How are you doing, Aaron?
I am great. It's a pleasure to have you back on, and I'm excited to get an update. Gold's still holding strong, despite the volatile market. So for viewers who may be new to Athena Gold, can you give us a quick overview of the company and what makes your project stand out in today's gold market?
Sure. So we have, call it three main projects, and there's one flagship in particular, which we put into the company almost 2 years ago. So a little bit of color. My team and I, we formally joined the company. I became president and CEO last year, about this time last year. And we've been working up this project called Laird Lake. Laird Lake is in the Red Lake Gold Camp. It's a world famous gold camp. Um, that's the new project we put into it. We spent about 2 years working it up. We did all the boring stuff that doesn't really attract retail investment, but now we're finally drilling this after quite a bit of workup, some very high conviction targets. We recently also picked up the Forester project, which is in the Musselwhite camp. So those are our Ontario projects, Laird and Forester. Both are a long trend of multi-million ounce producing gold mines, with Laird Lake being next to the Madsen mine, and of course Forester, as I said before, next to Musselwhite. We also have a passive interest. Actually, we still own 100% of it in Nevada. It's called our Excelsior Springs project. And we optioned this off to an Australian group called Mammoth Minerals for a whack of stock. We've got the royalty buyback rights. They have to spend 5 million USD in order to earn a 80% stake in that project. After which the real kicker is that we get a 20% free carried interest. So they're aggressively drilling that. And that provides free news flow for our shareholders on a project where news flow and movement on that project really does affect us materially, given our passive stake in this.
Awesome. Thanks for that update. So can you walk us through your flagship project and what specifically excites you about its potential at this stage?
Well, where it's located is part of it, but where it's located geologically is what's more important and exciting for me. So, background is I used to work in Red Lake. I used to work at the Madsen mine, which is about 10 kilometers from where our project is. So Laird Lake is located right in the heart of the Red Lake Gold Camp. This is a camp that's produced over 30 million ounces of gold. So being location in Red Lake with road access is already a nice tick box. But about that 30 million ounces of gold, so over 90% of it occurs within 300 meters of this famous contact between two different age groups of rocks. You've got Balmer rocks and Confederation rocks. So where those rocks meet within 300 meters of that is where you want to be. So the model in Red Lake has already largely been defined, let's say, over the last 100 years of mining. And anywhere where that contact has been mapped out has been drilled to Swiss cheese. The one exception is on our Laird Lake project, and the reason for that is because historically it was all mapped as Confederation rocks. There was no Balmer rocks present, at least understood to be present. So it was very much unexplored, very low exploration maturity. And then it wasn't until a very recent master's thesis did the work where Bridget mapped out Balmer rocks. And there's a 10-kilometer stretch of this famous contact littered with visible gold showings throughout. It's actually the extension of the same contact that hosts the Madsen deposit, which is 10 kilometers east. And so that's significant because we've got a 10-kilometer stretch of this thing littered with visible gold showings, up to 373 grams per ton gold, sitting there on surface in a rock chip sample. And along a 10-kilometer stretch to the east of us is the Madsen deposit. So that's past production of 2.5 million ounces, another 2.5 million ounces sitting there in resources. So call it a 5 million ounce endowment along this 10-kilometer stretch. What's over here on our project? And that's what we're going to find out right now that drills have just started turning.
Awesome. So this brings us to our next question. So you've got a drill program coming up. What are the key objectives and what should investors be watching for as results start to come in? Tell us more about that.
Absolutely. So, I mean, we're drilling a total of about 5,000 meters across approximately 10 holes, testing several targets, both geochem anomalies that we uncovered in our surface soiling and sampling program, as well as some geophysical conductors, which look really exciting. So we did a lot of 3D modeling of the old geophysical data, new interpretation of it, and projected the stuff over further towards surface. And some of our holes are going to be hitting multiple structures that are defined by these geophysical anomalies. So the goal here, of course, is to make the next high-grade gold discovery in this Red Lake camp. That's where we're aiming to do. And what investors should be looking out for certainly is news flow. I mean, this is the most money we're spending all at once, possibly in the company's history. And we're fully funded to do this program. So we will be releasing visuals. We will be discussing what's coming out of the ground in real time. So definitely pay attention to us on news, on the news wire, as well as social media. We'll be giving live updates from site as well.
Great. So now let's talk a little bit about the capital structure and your rollback. So the company recently completed share consolidation. Can you explain the thinking behind that decision and how it positions Athena moving forward?
Yeah, basically, I learned that people in the Canadian capital markets really do care about share count. For right or wrong, people perceive share count and having less shares as being a tighter structure and as more attractive. And since we're fully funded, and since at the same time we're also going to have embarked on our potentially most game-changing catalyst, we thought it was a good time to lower our share count. The logic is really, if we make a discovery, we want no reason for people to not invest. We want people to see our cap table, see 35 million shares out, which is ballpark the same amount of shares that Great Bear had before they made their discovery and their stock really popped off. So look, this is a high conviction drill program, and we want maximum pop in our share price should we successfully make the discovery. And having a low share count is one of those excuses that I needed to wipe away so that way we can achieve that maximum pop.
I think that's a great decision. So with the company now fully funded for the year, how does that strengthen your ability to execute, and what milestones should investors look out for over the next 6 to 12 months?
Yeah, well, for us, it means we can actually execute on this program without needing to worry about, cutting holes short due to budgetary constraints or having to stop halfway through the drill program in order to complete another raise. We are funded to actually test this project and test the targets that we've worked up, with over almost 2 years of workup ahead of. So this is our current treasury allows us to actually unlock that next catalyst should it be there, should that discovery actually be there.
All right, Kobe. Well, thank you for the updates. It's been a long time coming to get to this point. Now the exciting time happens. Obviously, 2 years of work. This is what we live for, exploration and
It
drilling.
all comes down to this, Aaron.
It's time to find out what's in the ground, right?
That's right.
All right. Well, I look forward to having you back on for more updates, hopefully with another video with some great drill results or something like that. But best of luck until then.
Yeah, thanks so much, Aaron. Thank you.